When walking around Rio Americano's campus, you can easily see who the majority is. Rio Americano's minority rate percentage is 32%. The California state average is 51%. I wanted to give the 32% a voice, a platform where they can speak on injustices they encounter in school. This is what they had to say.
I feel like a minority.
It was a cultural shock.
Can't really relate to the kids here.
So I felt out of place.
My freshman year at Rio Americano High School, I never noticed any racial issues or any conflicts because of the color of my skin. I went to a middle school that was 94% Hispanic and Latino, so coming to a high school that is primarily Caucasian, it was a culture shock. I was walking in a classroom where I was the only person with darker skin, which never made me feel uncomfortable, but a lot of my friends who went to the same middle school were pointing out how uncomfortable they were actually feeling. Starting my sophomore year with the racist post that went around.
This here is the post that everybody is talking about on campus today. They tell me this is not the way they wanted to kick off the school year.
I began noticing how genuinely uncomfortable it can feel as a minority student in a majority Caucasian environment. I wanted to bring awareness to how minority students were feeling because it is not okay for members of our community to feel outcasted. Now that we know that Rio Americano's minority rate is less than that of the state's, let's look at other schools in San Juan Unified School District to see their minority rate. Encina High School has a minority rate of 63%. They are also a school that has less amount of resources compared to other schools in San Juan Unified School District. Del Campo High School has a minority rate of 36%. Mariloma High School has a minority rate of 59%. Casa Roble High School has a minority rate of 23%, which is by far the lowest minority rate in San Juan Unified. El Camino High School has a minority rate of 43%. Rio Americano has a total of 32% as their minority rate, which is definitely lower than that of the state average, which not only makes the school out to be a non-diverse environment, but it also makes minority students feel uncomfortable and makes them feel like an outcast in their own school environment. Diversity is a good thing in schools. Not only does it make other minority students feel more comfortable, but according to research found by the Century Foundation, diversity in schools helps increase cognitive skills and increases creativity in the classroom. They also highlighted that it is important that minority students feel well represented by the staff members, meaning a more diverse group of staff, which is something that Rio needs to work on. The issue that I wanted to highlight was that Rio was not very aware of these things before the racist post got sent out in the fall. I decided to speak with Ms. Irwin, one of our school's counselors, to see what she knew about students feeling uncomfortable and if she knew anything about the diversity issue we are having at Rio. Do you personally feel that students are discriminated against, whether it's in the classrooms with teacher-student or student-to-student?
Definitely heard of student-to-student things happening. Not from many, but from some students.
As a counselor, do you feel that race or ethnicity plays a role in the success of students at Rio?
Maybe to a certain extent, but I guess I couldn't tell you how. I wouldn't say from the counseling perspective they're treated any different. We treat everyone exactly the same.
Were you aware of the whole ethnicity, race issue that we were having at Rio?
No.
So have any students come in to talk to you and mention that they had been called racial slurs?
Don't think so before. I definitely heard some things after.
What do you feel is a solution to help them feel more welcome or more accepted?
I think the school has encompassed some ideas that have worked or they're trying to make students feel welcome. For instance, they're creating clubs and panels to have students have an opportunity to speak out. I know I have sophomores who have had the opportunity to speak out at board meetings, so their voices are being heard. Makes me proud of them. Something we need to remember is that this is an issue that needs to be resolved. Students are feeling outcasted and feeling uncomfortable because of their race, ethnicity, color of skin, the way they speak, the food they eat. And it's not just a problem at Rio. It's a reoccurring problem everywhere, but we need to ask ourselves what the next step for Rio is as a community, a school, and as the Rio Raiders.